Hello, everyone. Hello,
Hello,
everyone.
hello. Good
Yeah,
day. And I see already people in the chat like Robert Urzykowski, Dr. Doom,
so
and
that was Vries.
Anas
Hi,
Amari
guys.
already said no mercy. Amazing. And indeed, what a no mercy year it was.
Mhm. Yeah, so thank you very much, guys, for being here. I think we want really to thank you for all the supports, since the beginning 2018 and specifically for 2021. So I wish that you had all amazing Christmas for all that those that do it, and of course we wish you really happy New Year. And yeah, so this is why we are here.
Yeah, we hope that everyone can spend the holidays with their loved ones and that we'll have an amazing time. And today we want to take the time to look back on 2021. We really think that 2021 was a defining year for us. A lot of things have happened. It was a very massive year, very important for Alliance Block in order to be able to go forward and reach our vision in the next years. So it will be good to deep dive into it.
Mhm.
And
So, yeah, so what we want to do, so just to give you a little bit of structure, so what we want to do is to start by showing you some of the achievements, some of the key achievements that we have done through this year, 2021, which was really truly, as Matthijs said, no mercy year. Then we want to take really step back because I know that we have many products, so we want to show you as well, all the problems that we had to solve, and to give you the bigger pictures and to understand why every single product module is linked. Then we want to show a little bit, basically more about funders and SSLP and few things that we saw that the community has lot of questions. And after this, we would love to answer some of your questions, and then we will finish with small surprise.
all right, let's get started with some things that we want to take you through. And of course, like we said before, 2021 was a super important year. Looking back, it was a year where our products went live, multiple products went live, and we started developing on so many products in parallel. We grew from around 20 people to around 100 people over that are spread in 24 countries. I mean, those are all amazing numbers.
It's really
We have,
amazing.
yeah, really, it's been an amazing journey, and of course, we started in 2018,
Mhm.
and since then, it's been a truly incredible journey, and
Indeed, we started. Yeah, so when we started, there was a Amber, Euro, and myself starting. We did lots of pivot. We had the support from the community. We had lots of up and down, some, of course, some happy moments, some bad moments. We had to survive through the beer markets, and then everything started to really take off. Since August 2021, and as Matthijs said, we started basically we were around 5 to 10 people, and now we are 100 people actually. So the number 100 is our CFO that we will present later on, that we have just basically hired. And yeah, so yeah, that's
yeah,
all my.
and it's speaking about CFO. I mean, it was also a major year for us for the executive team. We've grown very vast amount of executives, a very stellar team that we were able to build in the time span of a year.
Mhm.
Something that we're also really proud of, and that will really help to get out more products and really be able to connect to the traditional finance and have more doors open for us and be able to um, uh, improve our processes everywhere, of course.
Mhm.
And besides that, we have also 2021 to thank for our first clients, of course, through liquidity mining as a service. We released this after we saw that what liquidity mining did for our own product, and we have not just one client, but client after client after client that started to come back and reuse liquidity mining. So, with that, not just the products, but also having our first clients, all these people, 2021 was really amazing year,
Mhm.
and that's also shown in the stats of the growth of our community. Of course, if you look at beginning of 2020, I think we had around 300 400 people in our Telegram. Yeah, look at it now. I mean, it's 2,700, and I remember it well. I mean, it was a very active group, hardcore supporters in this time of 300 people, and still we managed to grow it to 10,700 people that are still really supportive, really engaging, and something that we are really, really proud of.
Mhm. And also something that we saw a lot of projects. They have 30,000 on Twitter, 40,000, 50,000, and we were just around 3,000, 5,000. We said we will never go there. So, and it was like really, when we arrived to 5,000, it was something amazing. And like there was one thing that is absolutely super important. We never wanted to have bot or something that is not organic. So everything were organic. So you can see that all the community was increasing, release after release, medium after medium, like all the community speak. And we cannot really thanks enough the community for all their participation with the Telegram groups, for Twitters, retweeting things, and like basically taking the message like out there. And this is why we are here at 40,000 within Twitters, 10,000, like more than 10,000 in Telegram, and all other channel. Of course, we have like a strong presence also on the traditional, which is LinkedIn. We have lots of like people reaching to us because of they saw like all the growth that we had, all the product that we are releasing, which is absolutely amazing. So we cannot thank you enough, guys. We are here thanks to you, and this is
Exactly.
something important.
Exactly. This is really important. We're not proud of these numbers specifically. We are proud that this massive growth was organically, something really to be proud of.
Mhm. Exactly.
And then of course, we worked really hard on expanding, working on our ecosystem of AllianceBlock is something very important in order to be able to achieve our goals. And the first milestone that we reached was, of course, the London Stock Exchange partner platform, and which we had early this year. And we are soon expanding, Crypto Valley, CV Labs, Open Wealth, and this really helps us to be part of a network where we can easily connect our products to, speak to potential clients, very much easier to open doors everywhere. And we see that it already helps.
And also, like as Matthijs said, we have London Stock Exchange, Crypto Valley, CV Labs. CV Labs, for those that don't know, they have Tezos, List, they have all the biggest blockchain companies within their ecosystems. They are having amazing ecosystem in Dubai. Open Wealth, I know lot of questions were asking, the community were asking if it's the first clients. So as I have said, like on Telegram, it is not clients, because basically to be able to sign client in the traditional banking, it can take between 18 months to 24 months. So Open Wealth for us, and thanks to all the contacts with Fundrs and all the teams that have done amazing job to be able to bring Open Wealth, which is basically an API that is used by the biggest financial institutions that are part of Open Wealth. So instead of us of going and trying to get clients, basically we'll be able to be integrated within Open Wealth API. For example, farming as a service, EHEAD strategy, compliant DEX, and all these different kind of product that will be linked to the API. And this is what will make us basically getting clients super like more easily than if we have to reach to one of them basically separately. And this is something important. And also something that we haven't released yet, which we will release soon, is we will become one anchor founder of one of the biggest accelerator in the world. So we will release this news very soon. But this is absolutely huge news, because it will help us also not only being, of course, on the crypto space and the digital asset space and the DeFi space, but also having our feet on the traditional startups. And this is all linked to Fundrs as well. And
Exactly.
one last thing. So as you see here, ecosystems. So our ambition is to build the ecosystem of ecosystems. So we believe that we need to work together. We believe that we are not here just for the blockchain space, but we are for the DeFi and also for the traditional, because we believe DeFi, it will become part of the traditional economy. This is absolutely normal. Okay, so this is why we have a huge focus on building ecosystems, and each ecosystem, they have their own partners, which means it gives us the opportunity to have access to clients, to bring investment opportunities to our community, and so on and so forth. So this is one of the strategy that we have to be able to go really focus on 2022.
Absolutely. And Of course, you saw also massive growth in our media presence, and we've been featured in top-tier media, and this is increasing every month, I would say. And it's not just announcements or press releases that go out in the media. It's also the bylines, featured articles of founders or C-level. So it's very exciting to see where we can go also in 2020 with this.
And it's absolutely insane, because when we started working with Voxman and we have released actually the news, so it was very hard basically for, like, some people told us that it would be hard, some people told us like it's not easy to come as a DeFi project or crypto project to be able to be on The Economist or BBC or Forbes. But actually we spent like few months, it was 6 to 8 months just to set up our media presence. And now you see, for example, Amber, she's on the biggest media, like Matthijs doing byline with Nasdaq. Like we've been basically like our C-levels as well, and we will have like even more bylines. So we have this traditional presence, and actually it was done step by step. So this is why everything we do, I know that sometimes things are not quick enough, even though we are releasing many things, but it's very important to take it step by step, to be able to have strong presence in media, to be in traditional media, of course, in the crypto Twitter media as well, on the crypto currency like Coindex and Cointelegraph, to be able on the conference, because this is how we will be able to have people notice us. This is how they will know our technology, and this is how basically we will make, of course, our community proud of our building, because we have people that believes on us, and it's our role basically to make sure that you are within the right projects.
Absolutely, this absolutely. And you can see this also in how much podcast requests we are getting. More and more they're reaching out to us in order to be featured on a podcast, and some of them were really exciting. We've been on really fun, exciting podcasts, and I'm sure that many more will follow in 22 as well. So that for partnerships and collaboration, I would say that's a really big year, because not only we had massive interest from layer one projects, but also from traditional projects like GBG, DataQuasar are very important examples that we are able to close very meaningful, important partnerships with established companies from the more traditional industries. GBG, of course, very important for identity verifications. GBG is a huge player globally, is able to verify virtually anyone in the world, and is working with major financial institutions in order to do so. So it made a lot of sense for us in order to work together with them in order to realize the trustless identity verification program.
Exactly, and as you saw, so of course there are Chainlink that we are collaborating with, and we have like lots of things that happen in 2020. Here we are seeing really the biggest one that we have in 2021. Ocean Protocol, where we will build that will be integrated with other data channel. Elrond, which is one of the biggest L1. Flare, that is coming soon, and we are already building and integrating with them for the bridge, for Fundrs, for the DEX. Hedera Hashgraph, which is the base of our consensus mechanism that we are using through the bridge, and which is working really well. And this is why actually it's become one of the, I would say, official bridge within Energy Web chain. And we have even seen some videos from the community that are using it, and they are excited about this. So we see that the product that we are building, they are used, and even we have the endorsement of big, I would say, layer one that are using them. Of course, Polygon, because it's like more scalable, it has like less transaction fees, and this is absolutely important. So as Matthijs said, GBG, Databricks as well, which we will show something like later on. Avalabs, of course, it's one of the biggest ecosystems, and there are many partnerships that are coming. And as you can see, we are not just partners with people to partner with. Absolutely every single partner that we have, it has a purpose, because we want to be share agnostic, because we want to integrate with these projects, because we need to deploy, and of course we have many things coming very soon. So so this is our strategy as well, which is part also of what we discussed in the beginning, the ecosystems of ecosystem.
Yeah, and this is especially important because we have this huge vision, we have this huge ambition, we know this. We don't want to reinvent the wheel everywhere, so it makes sense to work together with the best in the industry in order to get things done together, instead of just us against everything. We don't see us as a competitor to another project. we see ourselves as a collaborator. That together we can set this new infrastructure that's beneficial for everyone. So it's not creating something that's beneficial for AllianceBlock, but something that's beneficial for several industries. So that's why it makes so much sense to put so much effort into this. And of course, with Clay, I mean, one of the things that is really important to us is that we want to go towards the best user experience in the industry. And what we mean by that is that the usability of our products, like liquidity mining as a service, the DeFi terminal later, the bridge, the DEX, it needs to be best in class, easy to use. You should be able to make zero mistakes, and it should be, of course, very modern looking and fit in a whole brand ecosystem that we envision. That's why it made a lot of sense to work together with Clay on this. We've been now with them for 5 months, working on the new brand identity and several products. It's going to be super exciting, especially since they have a huge portfolio: Google, Slack, Facebook, Coca-Cola. I mean, we are really getting somewhere with them.
Exactly. And something to add indeed is that we are aware that we don't have like the most easiest products that can be understandable by everyone. And of course, when we speak about funders, we speak about DEX, we speak about SSLP, Bridge, LMaaS, it can seem basically that it's a lot of product that are not linked into like within each other. But this is also why we are working with Clay, is to have brand architectures that is easy to explain, that shows all our modules and how they are actually puzzles that will bring you this whole image, because we want to be able to be in the layer 2, layer 3, and maybe like later on also on the layer 1, so we can have basically all these layers end to end. And this is something that is important for us, and being able to deliver this message as easy as possible while educating people with it really is very important. And this is what we are working as well with Clay.
Yeah. Sometimes we hear this like it's too complicated to understand what we're really doing, right? And it's because if you look at other projects out there and compare it to us, we are not a normal project. We have all these products, we have this huge ecosystem that we're building. So sometimes just one feature of one of our products, it's an entire project somewhere else with their own token, completely focused on only that. And we have all these products, all these features in this gigantic ecosystem that we're building. And sometimes it looks like we go from LMaaS to the data tunnel. Why is it related? And it's because all these things, even though they work completely independently, they work perfectly together. And this, makes so much sense if you think about it. The DEX with the trustless identity verification, if you have it without it, it would just use another DEX or another identity verification. It wouldn't make sense together anymore, and you wouldn't be able to convince institutional money to come into DeFi. So it's all, in the end, it's necessary to create this big ecosystem that seems complicated now, but the puzzle will become clearer and clearer where we are going.
And we want to thank really the community, because we have lots of feedbacks, lots of like encouraging, like people also trying to explain things. Like we have Moberg, we have Masi, we have Raj, we have Hyrule, like we have Space Trader, we have like ALBT, Maxi, like and like Dr. Doom. Like I see like all the tweets. So and I will forget like many names that are doing amazing job of taking all the messaging that we are bringing. Of course, Josham as well. Like all the things that we have been basically saying, community are taking it and they are explaining it to others with even more simple word. And we cannot thank you enough, like of all the help that you are giving to us, which is important. And yeah, thank you very much, guys.
Yeah, you've been huge. Just like Rachid said before, we are here thanks to you all. This is absolutely the truth. And I think it makes sense to stand still with a couple of our products. One is really the first one that we full on released, and that we had our first clients with, liquidity mining as a service. And of course, liquidity mining as a service started just as our own liquidity mining portal. We want to increase the liquidity of our token ALBT, and we built a easy to use interface, high-class security for the smart contract, several times audited, and we wanted to extend it quickly to another network, Binance Smart Chain. So we did that, and we saw that it was gaining a lot of traction. It was popular. People liked it. So we decided that if it works so well for us, why not extend it to other projects as well? So we created liquidity mining as a service. And after a few months of work, we went live immediately with our first client, Duffy. And Duffy is still a client to this day, still using the liquidity mining portal. And many clients followed after, most of them returning clients. And the cool thing is, for them, it's a no-code platform. With just a few button clicks, they can launch their own liquidity mining and single-sided staking campaigns. Their contracts are completely owned by them, so they know that it's safe, secured. It's not in our hands, so they know that the tokens are safe. And since the contracts were audited over and over and over, they know that it's secure as well. So through this easy platform, they can launch their own liquidity mining, the first liquidity mining platform, even within 1 hour, which is huge, in their own look and feel. So you can see why there is so much interest in DeFi in order to use it. Best in class, I would say.
Exactly. And also something that LMaaS is a product that is really always improving, always adding new features. And this is what we are speaking with our clients and potential clients is now, of course, there is the ability to create pools, to do liquidity mining, to do staking, but you have the analytics. You have basically the SSLP, which will be the single-sided liquidity provisioning, which will be integrated with LMaaS, which means that not only us, but all the projects will be able to have their community having only one single tokens basically that will be able to do. And then we will have recommendation algorithm that will be able to split this in the beginning into one pool, for example, let's say AllianceBlock ETH, but later on it could be split between ETH, USDT, and other, like even in other dexes and even in other chains. So I think this is really important, of course, without speaking about yield strategies and all these different things that will be added up. And this is what we call actually the terminal, which means it's like basically taking all this foundation of liquidity mining and yield farming and be able to build financial products and many, many things that we are coming that will integrate. And of course, what we are building is an SDK, which means later on it will be open source, where people will have access to it, will be able to contribute to it, will be able to add features, and this is how we will grow the space and we'll have more adoption. So it's really one of the foundation things that we have. And this is also, because we speak about decentralized exchange, one of the most important things is that sometimes it's very hard to get liquidity. But already with liquidity mining as a service, we have just as a project $60 million total value locked. And then if we take all different projects that we have that are using this LMaaS, we are around 120 million total value locked, which is liquidity. And you need liquidity basically, like in DeFi, basically to be able to have less slippage and many other and many other like variables that we need to take into account. And this is why LMaaS actually is the product that is bringing the liquidity, and then it will be able to be deployed cross-chain, cross-dexes, and other things that we are building.
Exactly. Another example of why it makes so much sense in order to have these products together. LMaaS is necessary for the functioning of the ecosystem. Yeah, of course, the bridge. Huge developments there. We have the first fully decentralized bridge, I would say. And not only that, I mean, we have support on 7 networks and still expanding. And we have we've built something that we can be really proud of, because it's something that some said that couldn't be done. And well, we did it. The bridge is stable. It's super quick. Transactions can be claimed in a couple of seconds. And the best thing is that you can hop from one network to the other. So if you have funds on Ethereum and you bridge into Binance Smart Chain, you don't have to first bridge them back to Ethereum, but you can bridge them then to Optimism, then to Avalanche, and to Arbitrum before you bridge them back to Ethereum and have your original funds again. So this is something really unique. And it's just the beginning. I mean, I would say that this is phase 1, or maybe not even phase 1. We still, the roadmap is huge for the bridge.
Exactly. So indeed, and actually, it's funny because how everything started. This is why we say we want to find third-party solution, but sometimes it doesn't answer to our problems. So most of the community were using Burger Swap. We had lots of problems, lots of things to support, and we were really angry. So we said, okay, let's build our own bridge, and basically using the best technology that you can find, which is Hedera, consensus services, and all the way that we have done with Diamond Standard. And now we have the bridge of tokens, but actually what will make really interoperability is when you can really bridge the data, okay? And actually this is what we call the teleport cross messaging protocol. I know some people asked what is the difference between Chainlink, cross messaging protocol, what is the difference over Ledger. So for over Ledger is completely different, okay? Because over Ledger, like the way it will be used, we can integrate with them actually. So it's like we can work on the same ecosystem. For cross chain messaging protocol with Chainlink, there are some similarities, but actually we will have Medium article that will go really deep into the differences and what is the similarities between Chainlink cross messaging protocol. And actually the first use case, so instead of building just NFT bridge, as we said on the Medium that were released yesterday or 2 days ago, is basically to be able to show that we can have the bridging of the messaging of the data, and then we can build off it multiple use cases. And one of the first that we will have during Q1 is the NFT bridge, because it's very important, and we see the NFT how it's now it's few billions, and then we need basically to have them on multiple chain. So yeah, so the bridge is really important it's one of the important modules in our ecosystems to be able to do interoperability. And the fact that we have this cross messaging protocol will help us to do cross-chain swap, which means that our DEX will be multi-chain and can be integrated within multiple chain. So this is important, as Matthijs said. The roadmap is huge, and we will keep delivering features by features and to improve the interoperability in the space.
Of course, yeah, not to forget, that we are the official bridge of Energy Web. That's a very, very nice milestone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just one to answer to Ola. Of course, it will be on Ethereum, it will be on Polygon, it will be on Ava, it will be on BSC. So the single-sided liquidity provisioning is absolutely it's done in Solidity now. So it's compatible with any EVM. So we are not bound by Ethereum. So don't worry, Ola.
Exactly. This is very important indeed. We have always said that we are as blockchain agnostic as possible, which means that we don't have a core network or a major chain release on multiple networks. Wherever we can, you saw that with Fundrs, you saw that with DEX, see it with LMaaS. We're always everywhere, and this is the aim. And we continuously keep expanding, even to non-EVM compatible networks.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then the DEX was released now 1 month ago, I think, on testnet. And some people think that the DEX is just another Uniswap fork. I think because the layout is a Uniswap fork to some extent. I can wholeheartedly say it's absolutely not a Uniswap fork. We have our own AMM, and we have built it in order to drastically reduce impermanent loss. Rachid can speak a little bit more about that. The reason that the layout does look like Uniswap is that we wanted to focus on testing the DEX as soon as possible. We also couldn't wait to show it to you people, of course. So we forked the layout of Uniswap. Just the front end, just what it looks like. Doesn't mean that it was really easy, because we had to rewrite most of the libraries in order to work with our DEX, because the contracts are really not compatible with anything out there. So don't get mistaken. We know what it looks like, but it's absolutely proprietary technology that we developed.
Exactly. And also, we heard some of our community telling us that yes, why other project they can build DEX in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and then it's released. Don't forget that there is hundreds of DEX as well out there, and they are all forked from Uniswap. Uniswap has a huge basically volume, and we saw SushiSwap went beyond Uniswap, and then we have PancakeSwap, which is also fork, and then we see all these projects that are even in Solana or in ADA. They are all fork of Uniswap. They just change the code base and then they release it. So it's always the same AMM. We saw absolutely huge innovation once Uniswap went out. Then we saw Balancer, which is generalization of Uniswap, and they have done an amazing job. Then we have Boncor with Elastic Supply and with their way of doing the SSLP with the insurance fund. So we saw lots of innovation, but unfortunately, the last 6 to 8 months, we didn't see all the DEX are forked. So for us, as you may have seen in the podcast that we have done, in the article and all the things that we have released, We wanted just to optimize impermanent loss. But once we were working on optimization of the impermanent loss, we saw that actually there was huge opportunity to build completely new decks with new AMM. And a lot of people told us, hey guys, why you are basically you are sharing the research paper, you are losing your competitive edge. Actually, no. So you need to know something that is absolutely important. If we release something public, it means that we are 2 steps ahead, okay? Because we have a huge NFT layer that is coming on the DEX to attract liquidity. We have the SSLP that will be there. We have the treasury contract that will be able to act to do yield strategies. So we will link the DEX with the yield protocol, with the NFT layers, and then this is what will bring our, I would say, unique value proposition. And of course, it took times. It's impossible to do it. Like once we did the mathematical approach, it took us 3 to 5 months to be able to finalize it, back test it, and test it, and stress test it. But then you have the smart contract development, which take us around 6 to 8 months. And then you have the testing, because we cannot, you saw, for example, some people I saw on the chat, they speak about Dodo. Dodo, they went out. They have good approach. Unfortunately, they got hacked. Okay, and see that since then the volume is going down basically. So if we want to build like a state-of-the-art DEX that will improve the current DeFi and go further in terms of innovation, we have to take times to be able to be absolutely secure. And this is, it's for us, it's zero policy risk. It's very, very important. So just bear with us. I think I want to thank the community as well. So we have like more than 150, like even for small bugs to big bugs. So we didn't have anything that is related really to smart contracts. We will have a big bug bounty, which is for hackers to be able to hack this. Once we are 100% confident, then we can release it on mainnet, and it should be like hopefully in Q1.
At the word about this, like Timo was saying, testing new decks is a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun. It is. You can really try to break it. That's the purpose. If you can find a way to break the decks, please go ahead.
Yeah. No mercy, guys, please.
Exactly. But then don't forget to send an email to bounty@AllianceBlock.io and fully describe, how were you able to break it, and you will get a bug bounty for this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, please. Yeah. I mean, this is how we get the most secure decks out there.
Exactly.
That's the aim. So yeah, Fundrs. It's I think one of our most projects, I can say, because the thing is, when we started back in 2018, we wanted to do exactly this. We wanted to have an all-in-one decentralized investment platform. And we started working on this since early 2018, sketching it together, Rachid and me in Belgium. We were sketching the outline of this idea. We started working on this. Then it wasn't always easy. We had to pivot a couple of times. We had some compliance challenges, mainly that it was expensive and vast, and we started to get incubated, learn more and more and more. And the years were passing by, and now we're here. We're back here. So it's, it's kind of, I would say, emotional also for us to be able to show everybody Fundrs now.
Yeah, and the story of Fundrs is really funny, as Matthijs said. So like we have also, like when Amber did the TEDx, when she spoke about the participative capitalism, we released our green paper where we speak about the callibrocracy, which is meritocracy and democracy basically, and giving the power to the people that has the knowledge. It's not about what they have in terms of tokens or if they are whales or something like this. It's about their contribution. So basically every single person starts exactly at the same level. No matter you have 1 billion or you have minus 1 million, it's absolutely no problem. Everyone starts the same. And this is what makes Fundrs completely unique. I keep hearing Fundrs is just another launchpad. Like if you take a really step back, Fundrs, basically, we wanted to have safe investment platform that protect community. This is why we introduced the reputations, we introduced the milestone-based financing. Then after 2 years, we did pivot, we speak about STOs, we speak about many things. And then actually, what make us really to push again Fundrs 100%, it was back around November 2020, October. We wanted to have some liquidity, of course, and we had the token price for 7 cents. We had around $20,000 trading volume. And then, so we spoke to a few people, to a few VCs, and we said, let's do convertible loan. So we call it convertible token loans. So which means that you will be able to get basically like we can get a loan, and then after you can get discount on the tokens, or you can basically get the money back. But everyone said, no, we cannot, you are already out. And then it really like frustrates us. So we say, let's build our own convertible loan with investment funders. And this is how, like I would say, funders kick it off again. And then it's more than Launchpad. It is Launchpad for crypto from idea stage, which means that anyone on the community can become seekers because of his reputations, because he deserves it. He can get grants from AllianceBlock Fund, which is 50 million tokens that is really allocated for the community and for project to be able to give them grants. We can go from idea stage to really early stage, to POC stage, to MVP stage, to private stage, to if we call it in the traditional way, Series A, Series B. So we can take projects from zero to hero, but all is governed by the community. So it's not just someone coming, doing IDO, and that is absolutely not.
Exactly. Launchpads are focusing on raising money, right? And we are focusing on the success of a company.
Exactly.
It's completely different.
Exactly. And we will have algorithms, smart algorithms that being able to assess the project, being able to follow the milestones. The community will be able to interact with the project. So it's really huge ecosystem. And also what is really important is that not only for crypto project, but you would have also traditional startup, okay? Which means that people will be able to invest in share certificates. And we are already working on the legal setup. You will be able to get short-term financing backed by collateral. It could be NFT, it could be real art. You will be able basically to create your own project. For example, the project that we want to release about art, they are taking the Fundrs SDK and they will build the product on top of Fundrs SDK. So Fundrs as SDK, it's become infrastructures where you can have really project building on top of it. So it's not just Launchpad like anyone is like seeing for, like other projects, but it's a huge ecosystem. And building this all smart governance with the collective intelligence, with smart algorithm that will make sure that every single moment, the best decision is the one that wins. Okay, and this is why the importance of the governance token, what we call reputation ALBT, because this is what will make this governance, and it's really important. So we will go much deeper in specific AMA with funders, but just to give you an example, it's not just Launchpad. It's like this is something that will change the world when we speak about participative capitalism.
Yeah, things like marketplaces, tools that will help founders get the best out of themselves, best out of the company through the power of community. It's something that's not been done before, not in this magnitude. And like Rachid said, it will really change everything. It will change the way that we look at things. We will do things. And it's one of our values, right? The inclusivity, participative economy in from many angles. We will also see it at the data tunnel later on. Participation is going to be a very important element in that. So yeah, I mean, for the liquidity mining as a service product, we have launched several campaigns also with AllianceBlock as a tenant of LMaaS, because of course we have several clients using liquidity mining as a service offering. So we needed to be our own client as well, of course. So we did, and now we have over $60 million total value locked, over 60 million ALBTs locked staking contracts. And I don't know if everyone was present or remember, but we launched our 4-year hardcore no mercy staking campaign. 4 years locked. You will not be able to take tokens out before. And this pool was 20 million ALBT. It was filled in 12 hours. This was amazing, truly amazing. Tears in my eyes next morning when I woke up and saw what happened. This is the true power of the community. No mercy was hardcore. No mercy was the best name that we could give it, because hardcore no mercy, that's what the community really is.
Yeah, just for Luis, I don't know from where you get this $1,000 USD. It is impossible. Of course, it depends of the region, but it's impossible to have good developers that is building really good things that you will pay $1,000. So this is absolutely not true. And I would love to know from where do you get this one.
Yeah, that's a very interesting statistic.
Very interesting statistic indeed. And like P said, no mercy, of course. No mercy with mercy, always.
Always no mercy with mercy. And again, as a reminder, yes, break the decks, break the
Yeah,
decks. Yes.
yeah.
And
And I want just to
Richard
quickly,
Wister is saying something really interesting. We spoke about it a little bit before, right?
Mhm.
I can remove this now.
Mhm.
Why do we have so many products? Are we over diversifying? As we spoke a little bit about this before, it's not that we have that we are shooting with heel and we're trying to hit something and hope for success. It's absolutely not the case. But I can imagine why you see it that way. The true thing is that we have all these products that can be standalone, as said before, but they're also meant to be perfectly working together. And this is needed, if you look at everything together, the DEX with the trusted identity verification, with LMaaS, with Data Tunnel, DataQuasar, with Fundrs, everything has a function in the chain amongst each other, and everything working together will be able to bring all this institutional money into DeFi, and bring DeFi as a new finance, because we have said this already before. DeFi will just become finance simply. And that's why it's not that we are trying to have as many products as possible and hope that we'll succeed. We are just slowly building this ecosystem. We wouldn't say we are building several products. We are building just an ecosystem.
Exactly. And also, as Matthijs said, and we said it many times, so every single product or modules that came into life, it's because we had to answer to a problem that we haven't found a solution. Liquidity mining to solve our liquidity problem, which become a product that is used as a service, which people now knows and they are using it and they are returning clients. We wanted to have analytics, so we started basically building our DataQuasar, and so on and so forth. So every single modules is linked in a way that you will see the whole ecosystem. And just if I may to give you the bigger picture, so we have 6 modules, like even 7. I will say what is the 7. And these 6 modules, if you take just listen and take step back, okay, we want to build the infrastructures of the new finance. We want to build this core decentralized core banking systems. Okay, of course, for now is the focus, which can become much more than finance, but let's focus on finance. So what do you need? So if you take any financial institutions and you need to break it down, what do you need? You need exchange. So we have the decentralized exchange that is providing the foundation of trading and executions, but in decentralized way, but also while minimizing the risk. I have seen on Discord people saying that a lot of people, for example, they don't want to use Uniswap because of the risk that is inherent to impermanent loss. So the fact that having new AMM and with these decks, it is important to move the space forward. So this is the first module, decentralized exchange. Then what do we need? We are in blockchain space. We need interoperability. Okay, so we need bridge. It needs to be secure. It needs to be decentralized. This is why we have our own bridge, which is already used by many projects, and including us, because we were our first user and our community used it for ALBT to be able to bridge for all the staking we have done with PancakeSwap and other, and Pongola and other things for the liquidity mining. So you have the decentralized exchange and you have the bridge connected. You have the cross-chain swaps. Okay. Now we go another step. So what we call in finance, we call project financing. So project financing is be able to finance projects. It could be investment or it could be just loans and borrowing. Okay. So we have funders. So funders, yes, it's basically being the opportunities of investing, but it's also of lending, which will become also yield protocol and what we call it project financing. Okay. Then you have MiCA regulation is coming, the FAT proof is coming. Every single project in the space, if you want to operate in jurisdictions with like strong regulators, they have to, especially in Europe, they have to comply with MiCA. And this is where we have our trustless know your customers AML and know your transactions. Okay, this is a huge step that is for us is important to be able to comply with regulation by giving the opportunity of the users to be able to monetize their data if they want to share it. If they don't want to share it, no one will have access to their data. Okay, then what do you have? You need liquidity. Liquidity is coming from liquidity mining as a service. So liquidity, or the terminal basically, which have all this client with all this liquidity that is 60 million total value locked for us, but also around 120 millions all, and we will increase it, which will be hugely important for our decentralized exchange. 6 modules. You need to be able to have a wallet that is connecting all this with inbuilt KYC, completely secure and private. So your wallet is whitelisted and it's KYC'd, and you will be able to give and revoke access to the data, and it will be granular, or just to show I am verified. And the 7th module is the data management, data governance, data privacy, and being able to monetize your data. So this is where the data tunnel play a role. So let me summarize. You have at the end 7 modules, and just take a step back and think about these 7 modules and why they are super important. The decentralized exchange, the trustless KYC and know your transactions, the bridge, the funding protocol, which is Fundrs, the wallet, liquidity mining as a service, and finally data tunnel. So if you take all these modules, we call them more than products, it's modules. So it's become the AWS of the new finance, which means people will take these modules and will be able to connect them, and we are the first one that will do this, to create the decentralized core banking system providers, basically. And we will be able to use this on top of legacy system of financial institutions, on top of completely decentralized for the retails, but also being able to be used for other sectors. So this is why we have all these different products, that every single product is solving specific issues for the traditional finance way. So this is why it's important now to take a step back and see why we have these modules. And I hope with this small explanation, it's give you that these 7 modules, actually there are 7 puzzles that give you this whole image. And what is missing is the layer 1. And this is what we will start working on in the next few years to be able, because as you know, we are one of the rare projects that are building not only on Solidity, but we are building on Ink, which is the smart contract code based on Polkadot, and we believe on Ink, which is based on Rust. Okay, so now we are already having Fundrs and the DEX that is being built on Ink. Okay, so we will be able basically to support Ink, to support Solidity, and then imagine when we have, let's say, our own parashell. So instead of having projects that are building the layer 1 and trying to attract projects to build on top of the layer 1, we have all these modules that are the foundation of this decentralized core banking system or core investment lending, whatever we call it. Okay, so if you take all this and then we build specific compliant parashell where we can deploy all these products within this parashell, so we have the 3 layers: the layer 1, the layer 2, and the layer 3. So this is really like where we are going, to give you just a little, I would say, glimpse of our vision in the next 3, 4, 5, 10 years.
Yeah, and I wanted to say also a little bit about why Rust and Ink is cool, and it makes a lot of sense. You know, Rust is a very, very robust language. It's not so easy to compile, and compiling means, you know, creating an executable out of the code that you've written, which makes actually perfect sense for smart contracts. It means that it's more robust code. It can fail less often, which means that it's perfect for smart contracts because you have only one chance to do it right, because once it's deployed, you cannot change it anymore. This is why Rust makes so much sense going forward.
Mm-hmm. There is one question that is super cool. So how will the onboarding, so have you thought, yes, have you thought about adding risk management as a service spanning your other products? Yes, of course. Once you start basically building these terminal with the LMaaS, with the DEX, with the SSLP, yield strategies, and all these things, of course, you need to have risk management. So, of course, the strategies need to be executed depending on the appetite of the users. So this is something that is important. So yes, this is something, once we have all the products that are being built, that are connected, then we can have this layer of portfolio management, quantitative pool management, risk management, so we can have all in one within our terminal. Mahatma Gandhi. Yeah, so the stable coin, there are still no news like about it. So, but what we can say, we are working on use cases with banks, private banks, basically, to be able to provide liquidity to a certain specific illiquid assets. So now this is from where we say, how can we have stable coin backed by these illiquid assets to be able to be used and have a pair, let's say, with USDC that can be used. So it will be no reserve, because when you start having reserve, there's a lot of things to solve in terms of compliance, lots of things about regulations. But if it's completely decentralized, completely, I would say, with algorithmics, then you will be able basically to have something that can give liquidity to these liquid assets. And from there, we want that actually it could have any type of assets that could be basically backing this stable coin. So it is for 2022, and we will have like more news about this.
Yeah, and you know, if you've managing large scale chains in banking for 20 years, that's also truly impressive, I think. It's not easy for sure, and what we're building, you know, it's the building blocks for other companies, fintech startups, that are able to create a completely new company from scratch using our technology, you know, as an infrastructure. This is also really huge, important thing to mention.
Sorry for the lights. So thank you very much, Nick. That's really like hearing this from you. It's really amazing, and really thank you. So I see something. Yeah. So the vision is to bridge TradeFi with DeFi from Mr. Jensen. But to what extent would you envision ALBT competing directly? Actually, we don't compete with traditional finance. So if you take, for example, Avaloq, FNZ, Temenos, and all these kind of companies that are building core banking systems, they are working with the bank. They will deploy their core banking system within DBS in Singapore, within Barclays, within all this. And of course, it needs. Like if a bank want to change their legacy systems, they will spend billions of billions and they will never do it. And this is exactly why we have this amazing like spread of fintech and this multi-billions industry that is fintech, from the insurtech, fintech, like anomaly detection, fraud detection, KYC, like, and all these different things. And we see custody. There is a lot of investment from traditional financial institutions because they need to have secure infrastructure for custody. Okay, so we don't see ourselves competing. We are a layer that is like, if they want to use it basically from scratch, they can, or they can have it as a layer on top of their legacy system. So, and of course, having everything that is related to the retail that can be that are already using and will be able to use our product. So we don't see competition, I think, with traditional finance, and we don't want. It's David against Goliath, so step by step. And there was something that is, I saw another question. Basically about how, so what we think is basically everything that we will do, it will be through SDK and API, which mean that for the retail we'll be able to interact, and the community will be able to interact within the smart contracts, for example, through LMaaS or DEX or all what you know already how to do it. But then you will have like people that don't know, they will need to connect to these services through API or through SDK, which can build a layer on top of what our technology.
And of course, we will not be able to reply on exchange listing questions, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So maybe we have 8 minutes. We just want to show you like a small demo and
small nuggets.
Small nuggets, guys. It's time for some nuggets.
Almost last chance of the year.
Exactly. It was like Nick maybe said about like the dinner of New Year dinner. So I think this is the nuggets for New Year dinner. So as you know, we spoke about DataQuasar. DataQuasar started basically because we want to bring analytics to liquidity mining as a service. But we've been working in quant industry, and we know that basically you can have access to data. So we know that you can have access to events within the graph or the Covalent, which is our partner, or you can basically there are Dune and many different type of data providers basically within the DeFi space. So, but what we want to do is to have enterprise-grade API that will be able to be used simply through API endpoints, and you will be able basically to use this aggregation of all the DeFi data. Now, what is amazing is, so how can we like show the data easily, but also for the engineers, for the data like scientists, for all these people that want to build strategy easily, can they do it like just from the front end? So this is just proof of concept. The infrastructure is very big, which will not show, unfortunately, within this proof of concept, but just to show you the power of what we are doing. So let me share my screen. I hope it will not slow down now. Okay. So this is one part of the terminal that we are building, okay? So for example, let's say I want to take, for example, asset price SQL of Ethereum. So this is from Uniswap V2, okay? And I want to take this address, which is ALBT USDT. So the good thing here, of course, this is not for like for people that basically just want to get their dashboard. They will be able to have access to the data and configure it within here. Okay, but imagine that you are someone that is techie, that want to have access to queries, but also they want to build on top of these queries to have like really specific, really queries. Imagine that you have the price, and then you have, for example, the number of wallet that was created, and you have the number of transactions. So you want to mix this to know what is the percentage of change of Ethereum if the number of transactions increased by 20%, and if, let's say, the number of wallets increased by more than 50%. So these are custom like graphs that can be done not via endpoint, but you can do it within the code. So for example, here, this is just simple query that can show you also when we run it. So then you can see straightforward the visualization of this. So this is ALBT USDT price. Okay, but the good thing is that you have like this is query, but actually we have an engine that is completely agnostic that now will, not now because we are still working on it, but we will be able to support, for example, Python. You will be able to run Python imports, and will be able to have all the, I would say, the code, and you will be able to select, change, do prediction analysis, and everything on underneath, I would say, because people need to pay subscription with ALBT, or like, of course, it could be with fiat or with ALBT, to be able to have access to these, I would say, advanced services. And then this is Python. We will have, for example, JavaScript for those that like JavaScript. So they will be able to have support of all. So this is really web IDE. And then you can have also Rust, because we are true believers in Rust, and our quant teams and Matthijs, they are building completely quant libraries with Rust. Okay, so now, and what is amazing is actually what we call the domain-specific language. So domain-specific language is being able to build a new language on top of our data. Okay, and this is what we call DSL. And for example, here you have like the way that it will be done. Imagine that you put blockchain. That's it, and you can choose which blockchain do you want, boom, and then you can choose, for example, the text, and then let's say I want to have, let's say, Bancor. Okay, so here, like if I want Bancor, I will see the select text is not supported yet, so we are working on it. So let's put Uniswap, for example. Uniswap v2, okay? Then the pool. For example, I can choose, let's say, I want to have ALBT USDT, okay? Then I will have like a lot of analytics here. So for example, we can choose correlation, price, volatility, volumes, and then we will have many metrics. So let's say price, okay? And then I can choose this. For example, I want ALBT, and I want during the period, let's say 2020, 09, 01, 2021, 12, 30. Okay. So then I run this query, and then I will be able to get all the data, like for AllianceBlock USDT, and we can have it for WBTC and all the assets that we have on in Uniswap. And later on, we'll have DEX, yield protocol, you can check APY, and you can build like the whole, I would say this domain-specific language will be done and will be like really powerful for people, even that those that are not technical will be able to do like some amazing queries with this. Now, the new nuggets is, as you know, when we speak about KYC, we speak about know your transactions, because we are in the blockchain space. So we need if the transactions will be either fraudulent or they are anomaly detection and so on and so forth. So we have built now the MVP of the know your transaction, which we are building it on top of Databricks. And this is why we spoke about Databricks as partner. And then, for example, here, we can query Ethereum address. So let's say I want to query this address, okay? Okay, so here, for example, I have, like, there is a step, there is zero. So basically, there is only one step that connects this address to a fraudulent wallet. So if I check, I can see that this is ShaneSwap Hacker. So the good thing with this one is that we are be able to construct complete graph on all the wallets, all the transactions, and we are doing some machine learning algorithm to be able to detect what is the shortest path between a wallet and fraudulent wallets. So let's say, for example, some wallets that, let's see, so here, for example, you can see that the probability of fraud, this is like 0.1. So it's like it's a tag, and then here, let's see. So this is none. So this is something that is absolutely not connected to any fraudulent wallets. And then let's take this one, for example. And then we see that actually there are 5 steps. And then the probability is 98% that is fraudulent wallet. And we can even know if it's which bucket it's a bot. For example, here bucket 1, which means that there is less than 10% probability that is a bucket that is a bot smart contract. So, and this is if we check this address. So there is like basically 5 steps in the graph that will show us that is here. And then we can see that, for example, the address that I looked for, which is know your transaction, it is linked to a fake phishing. So this is absolutely huge, which can really change things and can be used by all financial institutions, everyone that want to be able to check. And actually we are using everything ourselves. So we are building the whole chain. So for example, for the DataQuasar, we are not using any other provider. We are building from blockchain connectors to the way that we are having the events, to the way that is going to Kafka, to the way that is going basically like really amazing architecture that we are having to be able to provide this analytics and much more. So this is it for the nuggets. So I hope you enjoy it, guys.
Yeah, I mean, this solidifies the fact that we are working on really important things that are really important on their own. But again, make a lot of sense working together with other products. This connected to the DEX. It's cool. Even the data tunnel, very important.
Yeah, it will have like so. So we are very excited. So I know sometimes people are impatient. Sometimes people want us to go fast. We believe that we are going much faster than the industry standard. Like each product that we are building, it has like really like the best standard that we can build. And even if we have, and this is why we are really like fucked up, because like we have these 7 modules, like 10 products in general, and each product is built with the absolute best standard that we can have. And this is the strategy we are having, and with the explanation that we said before, to show this all puzzles that is starting basically to have the real image. So I hope you enjoy this. Really, thank you for your support. We wish you absolutely amazing new year with all the best wishes. 2021 was the year of building the foundation. 2022 is No Mercy level 100, where we will go all in to conquer everywhere.
Just one more thing. I saw somebody. How can we help AllianceBlock as from the community?
Yeah.
And seeing the questions about the products, how they work together, where we're going. If you think you have a grasp of where we are going, and you can explain it well in a graphic or a nice written summary with the infographic or something, you can be the one to do that. This is how you can help. And I think we can even have some ALBT for the best ones out there, right?
Exactly. And yeah, so thank you very much, guys, for this. And I want to thank, of course, like our teams, the people that are reshaping these boats. So people that are working on like all the modules that we are having day and night, that they are sacrificing a lot of things to be able to have the best product.
Yeah.
So we really thank the teams from the bottom of our hearts. And like because every single person within the company, it has his block to be able to be built on top of what we are doing to achieve our mission. And I think one of the most important block as well is you guys, the community, because the feedback that you are giving us, the encouragement, the support. Of course, there are some good days, some bad days, but so we need this. It's not everything will be like amazing, but so we are here. We take suggestion. We do our we really do everything we can to be able to achieve the best outcome we can. So thank you very much, guys, and Happy New Year.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And up to a No Mercy 2022.
No mercy.
I would love to see how much of this No Mercy we can have in the chat before we end the live stream. Come on, guys.
We need scalable No Mercy, 100 transactions per second. How much?
Yeah,
1,000 No Mercy. Guys, we need to write. Thank you very, very much, guys.
Thank you so much. Have a lovely new year. Bye-bye.
Enjoy. Take time with your families. Crypto, it's here to stay. So take some rest. Enjoy.
It's only the beginning, guys. It's only the beginning.
Exactly. It's only the beginning. So thank you again from the bottom of our heart, guys. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.